Alright, welcome back to another video. I haven't done a video for a while. Not feeling my best, but I did want to share a new basketball game with you. Hopefully this will stay on here so I can hear through the microphone. I'm calling it Uptempo Basketball, and it's a new tabletop baseball or basketball game that I've been working on, and so just wanted to share sort of where it is. This is version 3 maybe of the cards, and we're going to be playing the Celtics at the Hawks. This is a 1986-87, you can see here. Celtics that year were 59-23, the Hawks 57-25, so a good Eastern Conference matchup. And what we have is we have our team cards here. The first roll will come off of these sort of main plays or actions, and so for each one. And then if you're just playing the team cards, which you can play, only the team cards with no individuals, you could just go back and forth between the teams. You would use the free throw, 2-point and 3-point percentages, and also adjust for defense as well. So that game actually is a super quick play game. It's possession by possession, but it plays really fast. And really, it's just 1 or 2 rolls per possession. So you can also play with individual players. And you can see here that we have our point guards for Boston: Dennis Johnson, DJ, and Jerry Sichting. I think it's how you say it. Sichting. And then Ainge and Carlisle, Bird and Day, McHale and Roberts, Parish and Kite are the centers. So you have the starters here, you have the bench players here. And if you're playing with individual players, what you'll do is you'll roll here to decide. So if it's like a 2-point attempt, then you'll take a second roll and you will check that second roll. Because it's a 2-point attempt, check it against this 2-point attempt chart. So let's say well, we have an example over here. We can go with the 77. The 77 would be a 2-pointer straight up. And then if you want to know who made the shot, it would be a 40. And so the range here is 25 to 45, and that's Larry Bird. So the Bird would hit the 2-pointer. So 38, here's a good one. 2-point attempt is a 38. The 21 here tells us who took the shot, Danny Ainge. And then the 67 tells us against Danny Ainge's 2-point percentage, did he make it or not? If it's 49.8 or less, you can feel free to round up or down on this, however you want to do it. I saw that Dave Gardner added a third die, a D9 or a D10, and he actually goes down to the point whatever percent. So his roll would have been 67 point something percent. You can see the 67 is greater than 49. I tend to roll down or to round down. And unless it's a 49.9, I mean, you're basically at 50% at that point. So that's going to be no make for Danny Ainge. Now, when you get to that part and you're checking against the player's shot percentage, you can see here that we have some defensive ratings for individuals. We also have a defensive rating for the team as a whole. You can apply the defensive rating for the team on every shot. So that really would have made, if we're doing that, that would have bumped him down from a 49 to a 46. So it sort of narrows the range at which he can make a shot. So it would have been a 1 to 46. It doesn't really matter because it's way over. But he also could have been playing, you could play starters against starters, bench against bench, if you want. Or I've added this in as well. If you wanted to know which individual player was going to affect his shot because, let's face it, not every single time you go up for a shot, it's going to be the person who is the shooting guard, opposite you, or whatever the position player is opposite you. Sometimes there are switches, you're driving down the lane and somebody else is affecting your shot, right? So, so you can actually, you can roll to see. You can roll to see who the player was. Was it the starter or was it the bench player? That scenario where it does, who knows who's guarding you, that's going to be kind of your regular defense. But if you want, excuse me, if you want the shooting guard to be guarding Ainge, then we would look here at Randy Whitman. He's a defensive 3, and John Battle's a defensive 3. So that would actually push him up to a 52 with either one of these guys. You can see some of the ratings are exactly the same, but many of them are different as far as defenders are concerned. So, Bird is a -4 defender, Darren Day is a -1. So there are a few differences, not too many differences. Wilkins, a little better defender than McGee, but that's really it. They have 2 really solid, or 4 just really solid low post defenders here. For the Hawks, same here. Parish and Kite, both good defenders. So that would bump up if you're, you can make one more roll. If it's a 1 to 72, it's Whitman guarding. If it's a 73 to 100, it's Battle guarding. And then you would just use their defensive rating. Because they're the same 3, you don't even need to make that roll. You can just add the 3, it'd be a 52, 1 to 52 still. Too low for the roll. So that would have been a miss. And then you just go to the next possession. If you had a scoring run, which is rolling a 1, 2, or 3, for these 2 teams. For worse teams, it's going to be a 1 to 2. So your top 10 teams are going to be 1 to 3. Your middle 10 teams are going to be 1 to 2, and your lower 10 teams are just going to be a 1. So your odds of getting a run go down substantially as your team gets worse. So sort of penalized for not having a great team, and that probably is going to reflect in the gameplay as well. We have turnovers, free throw attempts, 2-point attempts. We have an and 1, so a hoop and a harm. So it's a 2-point bucket, and then they get a free throw. And then it's just a 2-pointer automatically, and then a free throw attempt. There's an automatic 2, there's a 3-point attempt, and then there's an automatic 3 for each team. You can see that teams weren't shooting many 3s back then. They definitely were not hitting many 3s back then. To see Bird at 40% and Ainge at 44% is pretty rare. You can see even up against his own teammates. You can see against the Hawks here, they have McGee, who's a 3-point shooter, and that's really about it. The game has changed significantly over the last 30 years, 40 years. And so, if we do any modern sets, you'll be able to see that as well. Okay, so let's just play out this game between the Celtics and the Hawks. In order to do the tip, I'm just going to roll, and I'm using the online dice roller that I have. I built this specifically for Uptempo Basketball. What you can do is you can touch each of the dice, and you can make a roll without moving the clock. But if I do the roll button, then it changes the time on the clock. Now, you can also keep score or keep the time by hand by going to the same place that you go to download all these components. You can download the scorecard here, and you can download the timer, which goes either by possessions, or you can do timing by the clock, which I think most people probably would do. They want to see the clock and things like that. So you would take 20 seconds off for each possession, is sort of what it comes down to, which is pretty close to the 24-second clock, right? I mean, it's going to be your sort of average length of possession in the NBA, and I find it allows for the right amount of possessions in a game, and it also allows consequently for the right amount of points for NBA players. Now, would like to develop a college version of this, so or WNBA or a Euro League or whatever people want to do, and I think adjusting the clock is going to be one of the ways to adjust the scoring on that as well. All right, so let's get going. For the tip-off, it's we need to make a roll. It's going to be a 1 to 50 is going to be the visiting team Boston. 51 to 100 is going to be Atlanta. And so it's going to be Atlanta on the tip. And then basically we're just doing possessions back and forth throughout the game. This is somewhere between quick play and full play. You do get stats coming out of here. It's mostly going to be makes, misses, and free throws, points scored. There's no rebounds or assists or anything. I thought I wanted to try that, but it just doesn't work very well when you get into the nuts and bolts of it. So this is where we are now, and the same way we were doing with the 2-pointers, you do the same thing with 3-pointers and free throws as well. If you see a blank, then that person doesn't get a shot, right? So you got a couple of blanks here. Darren Day and Greg Kite are not going to take 3-point shots. So Atlanta ball. No time has come off the clock yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make our first roll. First roll is a 14, and a 14 is just at this free throw attempt. Make sure we're still up here on track. So it's going to be a free throw attempt by Dominique Wilkins. So 25 to 55 on the free throws is Dominique. You can see his free throw percentage is 77%. So the first free throw is a 41. That's a make. Second free throw is an 86. That's a miss. So we're going to go with Wilkins with a make and a miss. So that's one for Atlanta as they take a 1-0 lead. I'm going to try to slowly make my way through this to make sure that I do both the points for the individuals and the points in the running score. I have a tendency to skip one or the other by going too fast. So ball goes back to Boston. And right away, Boston is on a run, scoring run. And it's a 56. The 56 is here, 51 to 75. It's going to be a 6-0 run for Boston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And early on in the game, they get a nice little scoring run. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 minutes off the clock by touching the clock. And then the last part is we come to our scoring run cards. These also you can download. And we have our 6-0 run. You can see here. Let's put it up against Boston. So we have a 6-0 scoring run. Our last number here that we've identified, this was to determine the scoring run, right? 6-0. And then our last one here, our last roll we can use to determine, I've got a few different outcomes, several different outcomes here for each of the scoring runs. So, you can see whether it's a 6-0 run or 8-0 or whatever the scoring run is. It's got several outcomes that you can plug in, because one of the frustrating things early on was, okay, great, runs are cool, but if I'm keeping individual stats, what in the world happened during that scoring run? So I put together this grid to show what different possibilities that could have happened. So we have an 88 that's in this bottom line here. So you can see Bird scored 2. And I'm just going to apply this to the starters. I don't have any real reason one way or another not to. And then McHale had a couple buckets. So that's how we got to not 22 buckets, just 2 separate ones. And that's how we got to our 6-0 run. So 2 minutes off the clock goes off. We're now back to Atlanta. And a 48. 48 is going to be a 2-point attempt. That's from Doc Rivers, and it is good. So Rivers with the 2. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I'm keeping scoring straight. Back to Boston. 87 is going to be a bucket, and that's a bucket from the Chief, Robert Parish, as he lays it in for 2. And 8-3 is our lead early in the game for Boston. 55 is going to be an AM1, so this is nice. So an AM1, and then the guy making the bucket is going to be Mike McHale. So we see this 84, and we look at the 2-point play first. So he's the one that made the bucket. So McHale, we'll put him down for 2. And then his free throw percentage is only 58.4%, but he does make the free throw. So we're going to tag that in there as a 3-point play. And the old-fashioned 3 for Mike McHale, and that cuts the lead 8-6. Back to Boston. That's going to be 100. That's going to be an auto 3. And this is going to be the Birdman, Larry Bird, as he steps back and drills one from downtown. And the lead is back to 5. Atlanta stands in. 75 is going to be a score, and that's a score from Dominique, as Wilkins puts in a bucket for Atlanta. Boston with 2 free throw attempts. That's going to be for Kevin McHale as he gets hammered underneath. First one is up and good. Second one is no good. So he gets 1 or 2 at the line. And we'll call first one in, second one not. And that's going to be a 12-8 lead now for the Celtics. Back to the Hawks. This is going to be a 2-point attempt from Doc Rivers, and that's way off the mark as he misses. Nothing to do whenever there's a missed shot. So your possession goes back to the other team, and it sort of behaves like a turnover. 57 is going to be an auto 2, and that is from DJ as he hits the 18-footer. Boston takes a 14-8 lead. Atlanta up now. And that's going to be free throws as Kevin Willis gets to the basket and gets hammered as he goes up for the shot. So his free throw percentage is 70.9. That's going to be a make on the first one and a make on the second. So Kevin Willis with 2 free throws. Pulls Atlanta within 4. 76 is going to be a bucket for Jerry Sichting. Sichting, I think is how you say it. So he comes in off the bench for 2. Ball back to Atlanta, and this is going to be a free throw attempt for Dominique. He's a 77% free throw shooter, so first one is good. Second one is good for Dominique, and he is up to 2, 4, 5 points here in the first quarter. Let's give him those. Boston comes back down the floor, and they're going to score here. That's going to be a bucket from Larry Bird. And so that's going to be 2 points. Bird with 7 here in the first quarter, early in the game. 78. Here's a bucket from Dominique again. So he gets to the basket, and he scores. A 55, that's going to be another bucket. This time it's going to go to the Chief as he puts in his second field goal of the game. And the lead is now 18-14 Boston with 4.5 minutes left. 43, that's going to be a 2-point attempt by Mike McHale. He's a 50% shooter. He's rolled a 54, so it's a miss right now, but who's guarding him? Either of these guys are going to be a minus. So, no bucket from Mike McGee. Where is he? Where is he? Yes, he misses. 4 minutes left in the quarter, and that's going to be a free throw attempt for Kevin McHale. McHale is an 83.6% free throw shooter. First one is good, and the second one's good. So McHale puts in 2 more. 20-14 is the lead for Boston. Atlanta comes back down the floor. It's 55 as Kevin Willis takes it hard to the rack. He puts it in, and he gets fouled, and he's going to get 2 with a free throw. So that's going to be 2. And the free throw 86, his free throw percentage is 70.9, so that's only a 2. He misses the 3-point opportunity. Ball goes back to Boston. There's going to be a 2-point attempt. You can see here 35-50 is going to be a 2-point attempt for Boston. This will be DJ. So Dennis Johnson, a 54 is higher than his 46. Now we got good defenders on the outside for Atlanta, as each of them are -4. So that's going to be a miss for DJ. And nothing else to do there. So ball back to Atlanta as they bring it back down the floor. 53, there's going to be another and-1. This time it's going to be Doc Rivers getting to the basket. And that's going to be 2 for Rivers, with an opportunity for a bucket. For a free throw, 67%. Or 67 is lower than his 82% free throw percentage. So that's going to be... Oh, I'm sorry, that went to Randy Whitman. Randall Whitman. So, I still messed it up, didn't I? So that's a bucket, because I was looking, a 53 is an and-1. 14 is on the 2-pointer. That should have gone to Randy Whitman. And then 67 is a make for him. So it should be Randy Whitman. 2. I don't think I counted that up here. So I hope it'll come out. I hope it'll come out in the end. I believe 2020 is our score. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19. Is that right? 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Sorry. So 2019, Boston, as they bring the ball back down the floor. 3 minutes left in the period. Here's a 47. 47 is going to be a 2-point attempt. That is from Danny Ainge, and that is no good from Ainge. He misses on his first field goal. There's a 64. 64 is a jumper by Dominique, and he extends the scoring here as he gives Atlanta the lead, 21-20 in the first period. 53 is going to be an and-1. This is to Bird as he drives down the lane. He gets fouled, and he gets the 2. And he is a 90% free throw shooter, so that's going to be in. So he gets the 2 plus the free throw. 23-21 as the Celtics take the lead back. It's going to be a 62. 62 is to 75. That's going to be Spud Webb. So Spud Webb comes in off the bench and puts in a bucket. Here's a 2-point attempt by Darren Day. So Darren Day coming off the bench. 2-pointer is good. And he gets his first bucket of the game. 25-23, Boston over Atlanta. We've got 1 minute left in the quarter, first quarter. Here's an 86. 86, that's going to be a bucket for Kevin Willis. It's a little jump hook down in the lane. And 25-25, all tied up. Got a 16, got free throws here. That's coming to the Chief, Robert Parish. 63 is first one is good, second one is good. So Parish puts in 2 free throws and gives Boston lead back. 25 free throw attempt on the other end for Atlanta, and that'll be to Dominique. First one is good, second one is good. He's a 78% free throw shooter. So Neek having a good first quarter. Bird and McHale, solid first quarters as well. Last play of the quarter is going to be a 2-point attempt. That is from Greg Kite, who gets into the game. He got 100, so 10 and 10 is going to be 100. So Greg Kite with the opportunity here, 43, and he puts it in for a bucket. I think that's the first time I've seen Greg Kite score in any of these games, and that will end the first quarter. It's going to be 29-27, Boston over Atlanta after the first period. So we head to the second, and it's going to be Atlanta Hawks ball. I'll try to keep going. My voice isn't doing great these days, but I'll try to keep going. It's not these days, it's just the last few days. So here's a 52. Hopefully we're still good here. Yeah. Got a 52. 52 is going to be a 2-point attempt, and that is to Doc Rivers. And a 13 is definitely going to be good. So Rivers puts it in for his first bucket in the second quarter. And that knots the game at 29. Here's a 22. These are going to be free throws to Kevin McHale. And first one is good. Second one is no good. So McHale goes 1 for 2 at the line. And it's going to be a 1 and a 0. So he does knock one down. 30-29 Boston. And to be a 41. 41 is a 2-point attempt by Randy Whitman. And that's going to be a miss by Whitman. He misses his first shot of the second quarter. He's got 3 in the game. There's going to be a turnover for Boston. So a 7 is between 4 and 14. So it's going to be a turnover for the Celtics. And the Hawks are coming back the other way. Getting to the basket is Mike McGee. And he's got another deuce. So let's find him. So that's going to be 2 with an opportunity for a free throw. His free throw percentage is 58%. He's got a 40, so that's going to be a good free throw. And he makes the traditional 3-point play. 32-30. Atlanta leads over Boston. Boston comes down, turns it over again, and the Hawks are right back at it. So this is going to be a good bucket from John Battle as he comes off the bench and puts in 2. 34-30 now. The Hawks are starting to stretch their lead, and for the third time down the floor, the Celtics throw it away again. The Hawks see if they can capitalize on it. It's going to be a 2-point attempt from Tree Rollins, who doesn't get a lot of these, and misses here. So ball back to Boston. It's a couple of free throws for Kevin McHale as he gets to the line. Gets fouled underneath on the act of shooting, and he goes to the line for 1. 1 is good, 2 are good, and so McHale has the only scoring here for Boston in the second quarter. The Hawks come down and they turn it over, and back to Boston, and another turnover. Again, a rash of turnovers, And a 52. 52 is going to be a 2-point attempt. That will be for Randy Whitman. And that's going to be another miss. He's 0 for 2 in this quarter. 61 is going to be a 2-pointer for Kevin McHale as he shoots a little turnaround jumper. McHale with 5 in the second quarter. 73 is going to be a bucket. That'll be for Kevin Willis. So the power forwards are on display in this second quarter. Boston now 7 minutes left in the half. Here's an 82. That's going to be a bucket from Jerry Sichting as he drains the jumper. And he's got 4 in the game. Score is 36-34 Atlanta. And that's going to be another turnover for the Hawks. And Boston comes back. This can be a 2-point attempt by Kevin McHale. 24 is definitely less than his. 2-point attempt by McHale. 24 is definitely less than his 60, so that's going to be another bucket from McHale. Ties the ball game at 36. Atlanta looking for some sort of answer, and they get it. That's going to be a bucket from Mike McGee. McGee with 8 off the bench in this game. Boston comes back down. They get a couple free throws. This is going to go to Larry Legend. First one is good. Second one is good. And Bird is on the board in the second quarter. 38-38. Tied up here at the Omni in Atlanta. This is 1986-87, Celtics and the Hawks. That's a 76. That's going to be Doc Rivers for 2 as he puts in his second bucket of the quarter. 33 is free throws. Free throws for the Chief, Robert Parish. First one is good. Second one is good. And he's on the board in the second quarter. Game tied again at 40. We've got about 4.5 minutes left in the half. That's going to be another turnover from the Hawks. And the Celtics give it right back as a traveling violation. And the Hawks come back down the floor, and they're going to get a bucket here from Kevin Willis. And they take a 42-40 lead. 3.5 minutes left in the half. 60, that's going to be a bucket from Larry as he hits a little turnaround jumper. And that's going to be 2 points for the Celtics. 42-42. Here is a foul, and Willis is going to go to the line for 2. He's going to hit the first one and hit the second one. So Willis with 6 points in the second quarter. Boston with the ball. 58, that's going to be a bucket from Dennis Johnson as he gets down the lane and lays it in. So DJ with his first score of the second quarter. Atlanta now comes back down the floor. 67 is going to be another bucket, this time from Dominique as he is up at the rim and he lays it in. 46-44, Atlanta over Boston. We've got about 2 minutes left in the half, and it's going to be a 32. 32 is a couple of free throws coming for Kevin McHale. First one is good. Second one is good. And so McHale has really broken out here in the second quarter. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 points in the second quarter. 4, 5, 7. Yeah, 16 overall here in the first half. So really good first half for him. 22, that's going to be free throw attempts for Doc Rivers. The first one is good. Rivers is an 82% free throw shooter, so he hits them both. And we are 48-46, Atlanta over Boston as we're heading into halftime, getting very close. And it's going to be 64. 64 is going to be a two-pointer. That is from Kevin McHale, and that is good. Down to a minute left. It's going to be an 88. 88 is going to be a bucket, and that is another bucket for Dominique as he's starting to turn it on a little bit here in the second quarter. 50-46. 35, two-point attempt for Kevin McHale, and that's going to be good. So McHale is super hot. If we were playing NBA Jam, he would be on fire. 27, that's going to be a free throw attempt for Dominique. He's a 77% free throw shooter, so first one is good, and the second one is missed. So he goes 1 for 2 from the line. And we'll just mark that. And Boston comes back, and this will be the last play of the quarter. 71 is going to be a bucket, and that's from Kevin McHale as he hits a little hook shot in the lane, and he ends his quarter in high fashion. 51-50 is our score at halftime. So what do we have here? 21 and 24. So a little bit lower scoring first half. No scoring runs, or a little lower scoring second quarter. Let me just pause this and I'll tally up some of these totals already. Okay, so I've gone ahead and totaled up everything so far for each quarter. Score is 51-50. Atlanta over Boston. And I believe it is Atlanta basketball. Started the third quarter, I've sort of revamped my layout here. And hopefully we're still coming through the microphone. All right. Atlanta ball. They're up by 1 as we head into the second half. This is the layout that you'll see if you're using a desktop computer. I'm just trying to help with the layout because I need this half in this part of the game. So 34. 34 is going to be free throw attempts for Doc Rivers. First one is good, and the second one is good as well. As Rivers now with 10 in the game. Ball back to Boston. This is going to be a 73. 73 is going to be a bucket, and that will be for Kevin McHale as he continues his hot shooting in the game. He's got 22, 24 now in 22 in the first half. So excellent start for him. 51 is going to be a two-point attempt, and that'll be from Tree Rollins. And Rollins, is that right? 71. 51 is a two-point attempt. 71 is going to be Tree Rollins. And a 63 is a little too hot, and so Tree Rollins is going to miss that one. And ball goes back to the Celtics as they bring it down the floor. Dennis Johnson gets fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line, and that's going to be 1 good and 2 good. So DJ, 2 free throws here in to start the third quarter. 35 now. 35 is going to be free throws coming for the Hawks, and that'll be to Spud Webb, who's a 76% free throw shooter. He misses the first, and he misses the second. So Spud Webb with 2 free throw misses. Uncharacteristic. Here's going to be a run for Boston, and that'll be a 66. That's a 6-0 run for the Celtics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just like to mark it with a little line. We come back to our runs card here, and we can see that it's a 6, so it's going to be this first line here. So bucket from Bird, Parish, and McHale. McHale with 4 now in the quarter, and Parish gets on the board. Parish actually has 10 now for the game. So we take our 2 minutes off, and we go to the Hawks. They'll come down and get a bucket from who? From Mike McGee, as he puts in his first bucket in the second half. And that's going to give Boston a 60-55 lead. You can see how the runs change things. They change sort of the back and forth nature of the game. It's kind of one of the cool aspects of the game, I think, that hopefully sets it apart a little. Here's a bucket. That's from Kevin McHale. No surprise there, as he puts in 2 more. He's definitely the game highest scorer today. 37. 37 is going to be free throw attempts coming for Doc Rivers. First one is good. Second one is good. And Doc has 4 points here in the third. Boston with a bucket, and that's going to be DJ with the 2-pointer. He's got 4 as well. So both point guards playing well in this first part of the third. Here's a 50. That's going to be a 2-point attempt from Randy Whitman. 56 is, excuse me. Yeah, 56 is going to be a miss from Randy Whitman, as he's just not been hitting on all cylinders in this game. 65, that's going to be a bucket, and that's from Danny Ainge, as he drills a 17-footer from the outside. Extends the lead to 66-57. Got about 6 minutes left in the quarter. 75. 75 is going to be a bucket. That'll be for Doc Rivers. He's got 6 in the quarter. As he gets to the rim. 46, and that's a 2-point attempt by Larry Bird. 77 is that right? Yep. 77 is a little hot, so Bird is off on that one. And he's got 2 in the half, but he misses that one. Here's a 22. That's going to be a free throw attempt for Randy Whitman. And first one is good. Second one is good. And Whitman may be off the mark in the field, but he's hitting his free throws. So he's got 2 more there. That's going to be 61-66 is the Boston lead. Free throws coming for the Celtics to Kevin McHale. First one is good, and the second one is missed. So McHale 1 for 2 from the line. One of his very few miscues in this game. There's an 88. That's going to be a bucket for Kevin Willis. So Willis puts it in his first 2 of the second half, and the lead is now 63-67, Boston over Atlanta. This is 1986-87 season. 61, that's going to be a bucket for McHale as he continues to fill it up. 52 is going to be a 2-point attempt. That's going to be from Doc Rivers. A 47 is pretty close. Let's see who's guarding him. DJ or Sishting. So this one would actually make some difference. If Sishting is guarding him, he would be a 48.9, and that would be a bucket. So let's go ahead and roll against that. We got a 1. It's going to be DJ. So his defense is a 1. That pushes it up to a 46, which is not good enough. And so you can see how that kind of comes in a little bit. Just to shake things up, I guess. See how it's played. I believe that was Doc Rivers, right? That was Doc Rivers with the miss. We're going to give it to him anyway. Okay. Back down the floor, the Celtics throw it away, and that's going to be a turnover. Atlanta with a chance to cut into the lead, but they can't, as they also commit the turnover. And here's a 42. 42 is going to be a 2-point attempt for Kevin McHale. 51. No, I'm sorry, that's for Parish. 51 is definitely going to be good here. Let's see. Each of these guys is a -6, though, so that brings them down to a 49. And 49 is going to be too low, so good defense from Atlanta. And scoring is slowing down a little bit in this game. 52, 2-point attempt by Dominique. And that's going to be a miss from Neek as well. 50, that's going to be a 2-point attempt by Bird. And a 7 is going to be good. So Bird knocks it in for his second bucket of the half. 71, 63, Celtics over the Hawks. About 2 minutes left in the third. Here's a bucket from Spud Webb as he comes back for 2, getting to the rim. 14 is going to be another turnover from the Celtics. So giving it right back to Atlanta. 36. That'll be 2 from the line for Doc Rivers. First one is good, and the second one is good. And Rivers coming on strong here in the third. 67, 71. So Celtics up by 4. And here is a 2-point attempt. That'll be from DJ. 41 should be good. But, what was it? 40. That would be a 42. So 41 is good by Johnson. 73-67 now, our score as we head to the final half minute of this quarter. A 100, that's from the Hawks. That's their only opportunity for an auto 3, and that's going to be Dominique as he steps out to the 3-point line, and he hammers one, and that's going to help Atlanta's cause. And last possession of the quarter goes to the Celtics. Dennis Johnson's going to go to the line. He hits the first, and he hits the second, and Johnson closes out a good quarter for himself and for Boston. It's 75-70 heading into the fourth quarter. Let me tally up these quarter stats real quick. All right, so our score is 75-70. Tallied up all the, these are sort of the total points for the quarter. You can see here. McHale with 31 heading into the fourth quarter. Bird with 18. Oh, I didn't do these over here. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's never good to show your math skills live. Okay. All right. So Dominique has 19, and he's pacing things for Atlanta. But Rivers also has 16 in the game, and Willis with 14. So some scoring. McGee here with 10 points coming off the bench. So they They're hanging in. They don't have any runs here. You can see they don't have any runs. Boston's made a couple of 6-0 runs, and Atlanta's sort of desperately in need of one of those. We'll see if they get it. They get the ball first in the fourth quarter, and they're down by 5. So that's going to be a 40. 40 is going to be a 2-point attempt for Dominique, and an 85 is off the mark, and he just has not been on in this game. 10, that's going to be a turnover for Boston. 14, that'll be free throws coming up for Doc Rivers. Rivers has been good in this game. 82, that's good and good. And 2 more free throws for Doc Rivers as Atlanta cuts the lead. 88 is going to be a good bucket. That'll be from DJ. And Johnson also with a good second half. Started to come alive for Boston. There's a 20 free throw attempts. This will be for Dominique. He's a 77% free throw shooter. Not great. So 85 is a miss. 14 is a make. So he makes 1 of 2 from the line. And 73-77 is our score, Boston over Atlanta. 77 is going to be a bucket. That'll be from Larry Legend as he gets on the board here in the fourth quarter. Is 2. There's a 62. 62, that's going to be a bucket. That'll be for Dominique as he puts 1 in. And he's might be starting to heat up here in the fourth quarter. Let's see how things play out. There's a 70. 70 goes to Kevin McHale. No surprise there as he puts in another 2. And that's going to be a turnover. You can see it's a 7. And back to Boston. Boston takes advantage. That's going to be the Chief, Robert Parish, with the bucket. So everybody getting into the scoring so far in the fourth. Everybody scored but Danny Ainge. 77, that's going to be a shot knocked down by Kevin Willis as he banks 1 in off the glass. And that'll be his first 2 of the fourth quarter. 77, 83-77 is our score. So 6-point lead for Boston with about 8 minutes left in the game. 87 is going to be a bucket, and that comes from Jerry Sichting. Sichting having a good game. Oh, why did I do that? That's not the guy. There it is. All right, Sichting with 6 points off the bench. It's provided a little bit of a lift for Boston. 43 is going to be a 2-point attempt. That will be from Kevin Willis, and that's going to be good as the big man knocks it down. 79, 85-79 is our score. We're at the Omni in Atlanta, 1986-87. Boston at Atlanta. Boston is up 85-79 with 7 minutes left. About 7.5 minutes left in the game. This will be a 42. 42 is a 2-point attempt, and that's to Larry Bird, and that's going to be good as he shoots a little high arcing turnaround shot that goes in. Back to Atlanta, and they promptly come down and turn it over. Let's see what Boston's got. They come down, and who is in the lane? Larry Bird takes it down the lane. He gets fouled, but he does make it, and he's also going to get a free throw. And 42, that's definitely a make for him. He's a 90% free throw shooter. So the old traditional 3-point play there as Boston takes a 90-79 lead, starting to stretch it out here in the fourth quarter. A 2, this is a run from the Hawks, and that's going to be an 8-0 run. Don't blink yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's see what happened in the 8-0 run. We got an 84 here. We got our runs card. So 84, it's going to be this last line. I messed that one up, but I've subsequently fixed it. I just haven't reprinted those. But we got Wilkins with 4 points during the run. And that's going to be a 2 with 2 free throws. And Kevin Willis with a couple of buckets during the scoring run. So that's how that happened. All right, we got about 6 minutes left, 6.5 minutes left in the game. And the score is Boston's ahead 90-87. That little scoring run brought Atlanta right back into the game. That's exactly what they needed. 81 is going to be a bucket. That's good for Robert Parish. So he gets his 4th point of the 4th quarter. Good game for Parish. Another turnover. So Atlanta keeps shooting themselves in the foot. And this is going to be a bucket. And that is for Larry. And so Bird puts in his 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th point of the 4th quarter. So he was a little slow through the middle of the game, but he's picking it up here at the end of the game. 74. That's going to go to Mike McGee, who puts in a bucket. And here's a 15 foul on Atlanta, and it's going to be McHale to the line for 2. He hits 1, and he hits 2, and it's had a bit of a quiet 4th quarter. 96-89. Boston has stretched the lead back out, and yet another turnover from the Hawks. There's a 68. 68 is going to be a bucket, and that's coming from Danny Ainge as he gets on the board in the 4th. 4 minutes left in the game. Atlanta with the ball. Here's going to be a 34 free throw attempt, and that will go to Dominique. He's a 77% free throw shooter, and he makes one and misses the second. So our score is 98-90, Boston over Atlanta. Atlanta's pulled within a few, but just can't seem to get over the hump here. That's going to be free throws for Kevin McHale. First one was good. Second one was good. And McHale with 6 points in the quarter. Another free throw coming, this time for John Koncak as he gets in the game. So you can see the free throws here, 95-100 for John Koncak. 81 is definitely over his percentage, so he missed the first and makes the second. And that's going to be his first points of the game. So 100-91, 9-point lead for Boston. Got 3 minutes or so left in the game. And here is an 84. That's going to be a bucket for Larry Bird, who just keeps turning it on in the 4th quarter. The Hawks don't have any sort of answer for the Birdman. 53 is going to be an and one. So it's John Battle who gets to the bucket, and he gets fouled while shooting. Let's see, a 78. His free throw percentage is 73, so he misses the free throw. And back down the floor comes Boston. There's a 2-point attempt. That will be from Robert Parish, and that is good from the Chief. So 104-93, is where we're at right now. We got 2 minutes left in the game. 55, that's going to be an and one. And that will be for Dominique Wilkins as he gets to the rim and he gets fouled. He's had a great fourth quarter. 100 though, so he's going to miss on the free throw. So can't convert that three. They've left several all throughout the game. They left several points on the floor for sure. 63, that's a 2-pointer, and that's for Kevin McHale as he extends his high point lead in this game. 76, that's going to be knocked down from Wilkins, who has been almost the sole source of scoring for the Hawks here in the fourth. There's 26. That'll be free throws coming to Rick Carlisle, who gets a shot. 64. That's going to be one good, two good. So Rick Carlisle gets officially into the game with a couple of free throws. And 108-97 is our score. Hopefully I've been keeping all that right. We'll see. I could have missed some. I don't know. And what do we got here? Well, I got another turnover from Atlanta. And this is going to be the last play of the game. We'll just play it out. This will be a bucket from DJ. And so that's going to be 2 points for Johnson. Final score here is, I believe, going to be 110-97, but we'll see what it actually is. Because I might have missed some of those over here, so we'll have to tally up all the points. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points in the quarter for Dominique Wilkins. 2, 4, 6, 8. I believe that's just 1 for John Konkek as he got in 1 or 2 free throws. So we got 4 here, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 in the quarter for Bird. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then 6 for Parish. So that's going to total us up 2, 4, 12, 16. Yeah, 6 from Jerry Sichting. 4 points for Danny Ainge. Kind of a slow game for him. 2 points here for Rick Carlisle. 10, 14, 18, plus 11, 29. So Bird, a more than respectable game. So 2 points here for Day. 22, 31, 39 for McHale, who was on fire. And 6, 8, 10, 16 for Parish. Also a nice game for the Chief. And then Greg Kite putting in a couple points. So 8, 16, 18 points for Doc Rivers. Nice game for him. Spud Webb with a little bit of offense off the bench. Whitman, 5. Not great production coming out of a starter. So 2, 4 for John Battle. 16, 19 plus 12, 31 for Dominique, as he scored 12 in the final quarter, 11 in the first quarter. So just dominating. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah. And McGee, 8, 10, 12 off the bench. So nice game for him. 12, 14, 22 for Kevin Willis. And Tree Rollins really struggled. All right, let me total these up just to make sure that I got the scores right. All right, and back with the totals. Just had to make sure I missed several points there for Boston somewhere along the way. Or I added a bunch of points in. Not exactly sure what it was, but final score 116.97. Boston goes into the Omni in Atlanta and has a huge fourth quarter. Larry Bird with 11 in the fourth, and they didn't miss in the fourth. You can see Wilkins had a huge fourth quarter too, trying to bring Atlanta back, keep them in the game. He put in 12. Willis had 8 in the fourth as well. For the game, Dennis Johnson 16 points. Larry Bird 29. Danny Ainge only had 4. 39 points, big game for Kevin McHale as he's game high 39, and then 16 for the Chief, Robert Parish. For Atlanta, it was Doc Rivers with 18, Randy Whitman with 5. Dominique had 31. 12 of those 31 came in the fourth quarter. And then McGee, 12 off the bench, and 22 for Willis. Tree Rollins did not score in the game, neither did Fred Roberts. So that is up-tempo basketball. So hopefully you can't really feel the up-tempo while I'm doing it because I have to sort of talk my way through it, I guess, which plays a little bit differently. One suggestion from someone early on was to maybe just do be able to jump in and out, which you can do with this game. So if you want to play the first half with just the teams and sort of move through real quickly, and then after that begin using the individuals. It goes quite a bit slower if you're trying to actually keep individual statistics as opposed to just using the individuals to figure out how the game was scored or how the points are scored. So if you don't have to go through and write it down here, write it down there, and figure it all out, then that actually does move quite a bit faster. So you can use the individual players and still move pretty quickly through the game. Hopefully it's basic and simple enough that anyone can get into it. If you're even a moderate basketball fan, I think you'll have fun with it. We got 4 teams. So we got these 2 teams and also the Lakers and the Mavericks. Someone you can tell put yellow into the printer. Didn't know that. So we got the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Hawks, and the Celtics. These are actually the top 4 teams in each conference from 1986 and 87. So you're playing with the best of the best. And we have starters and bench players for every team. Everything plays the same with the runs, and you get a little contextual information for each team down here. And so I think the game is a lot of fun. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for a fun game. You're not going to get super detailed statistics or anything like that come out of the game. Maybe you can figure out how to do that if you want to, but really I just wanted a fun game that moves quickly, has a good flow to it, and sort of maybe even in the end will help us to pit teams from different eras against each other, which I think could be pretty cool to be able to do that. But right now, this is the prototype, and you can go to the, I'll put the link in the description where you can go and download the prototype and check it out and play it yourself. Dave Gardner said he's going to play this version on his YouTube channel as well. So we'll see how that goes for him. And also Kurt Roberts, who, if you've been on the Delphi forums or on Facebook, you know that he likes to create these electronic scoreboards. Excuse me. So he's actually created an electronic scoreboard for this game, which is pretty cool. So it mimics a little bit of the functionality of the online dice roller, but his is a lot more visual and maybe even more fun and interesting to play. You can sort of switch back and forth between the bench players and the starters. So kind of fun, and it's cool to see that people are engaging with the game, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and play it. And it won't be too long before we start pumping out some sets. I just want to make sure that the gameplay is good, the cards are right. We got rid of some rebounding and stuff like that. It's not going to be right for this game to go into that level of detail. This is sort of a mid-detail game. It's not a full detail game, but there are lots of other games on the market already where you can kind of work your way through, and every part of every play you figure out every little detail. Sorry about that one. Told you my voice is a little out of it. So you work through every detail of the game. In some of those other games, this just isn't going to be like that one. So, all right. I can see that my voice has had enough, and so I'm just going to go to bed. All right. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. Try the game out. I just want to know what you think about it. What's good about it? What could be better? If there's something with the cards that could be better or more clear, love to hear that too. Everything is sort of up for grabs until the game starts to go in production. So please do leave your thoughts either on the Delphi forums or here, or anywhere that you see the game being posted. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.